when I was when I was 16, the funnest thing I got to drive was an international two-ton dump truck with a 5-speed and a 3-speed rear end, and it was pretty tired. It needed all of those gears.
I was in the summer, sometimes I'd go with my dad. 13 years old, I'd be driving this 57 Dodge company car down the Columbia River Highway at 75 miles an hour while he's sleeping in the back seat.
Oh, wow.
To Walla Walla, where the main portion of the company was. Anyway, crazy. I mean,
stop just out of town and switch drivers?
No. Many a times, hey, go to the store and pick me up this or that, you know. I could just jump in the car and go. I never got caught, but you know, would you let your kid do that today? I don't think so.
Yeah, given what they're doing on their game consoles, yeah, I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
Plus no seatbelts, no airbags, no crumple zones.
No.
They were basically death traps, and they're going 70 miles an hour.
Yeah. But the one thing that we had more of back then that we don't have any of now seems is common sense.
Yeah.
And skill. I think people had more skill driving because they needed it, right? I mean, you needed it, otherwise you wouldn't make it down the road. What was that?
I said they started when they were 13. By the time they were 16, they'd been driving for 3 years.
Yeah. Well, I was driving tractors when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I was so small, I had to put, the clutch on a tractor, you have to push it straight down, right? So I had to put both feet on one side of that pedal to get that pedal to go down when I was little. And then you slowly lean back with your other foot to get it to come up. Yeah, I remember that, driving tractors all the time. Out in the orchards and berry fields.
Yeah, went and put an old auto radio on a John Deere Model M, a 1948 Model M. I had to change the battery polarity on it because it was positive ground. And anyway, that's not too big of a deal. It's just that you got to bump the generator to get the polarity in the other way, so that it'll operate normally again. But anyway, trying to play the radio loud enough to get above the John Deere pucka, So there's where my ears went, I think, my hearing.
Now see, Bruce, if you had that Bluetooth headset back then.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Well, that little, I don't know what that auto radio came out of, but anyway, it had push-pull 6V6s and a pretty good speaker. The neighbors complained more about the music I played than the noise that the John Deere made. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like the Beatles.
Not their kind of
that.
music.
Yeah. Anyway, anybody get some good acquisitions here lately?
Well, the last thing we went to was the McCracken sale. That was for members only. And that was on June 5th down at Crawfordsville next to Sweet Home. So it's like, a couple hours drive south of us.
Yeah.
I got these. Let's see if anybody knows what they are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What do they call those? I can't recall.
Well,
I haven't used one in a long.
Exolite calls them a TW32, if that's any help, and a TW140.
Okay, no, that doesn't help me.
They are the tools that you use to tighten the little knurled nuts that go on ear jacks. They got a little knurled nut and they got two little notches cut out of them.
Yep.
I've always used a pair of needle nose and just, stuck them in there and twisted them.
Yep.
But this is actually, this is for the standard 1/8 inch, and this is for the 3/16. I
The real-
didn't know they had them, but I am the proud owner of those.
The real tool. Okay.
The real thing. It doesn't take much to please me. And I went to Crawfordsville and I drug back quite a few things. Mike Miller bought a lot of tubes, and it had probably 25 or 30 Newell stock Miller coils in it.
Oh,
A lot of them were IF coils. Some good ones too, 175, 262, a lot of 450 to 472 universals. And I just gave them to me. I asked him what he wanted for them. He said, well, I don't use them. You do. Here, take them. And I thought that was awfully nice of him.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'll show you what else he gave me. I can get it up here. He gave me this real nice big tub.
There must
It
be
is
something in
filled-
it.
It is, oh yeah. It is filled with General Electric Newell stock aluminum capacitors. There's
Wow.
about 100 of them in here. What you're looking at is just the top layer.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So anybody needs any of those, let me know. I've got them from low voltage, high microfarad to the standard 2020 20s and 2030 40s at 450, 475.
So how old are those?
They appear to me to be about 1970s stock. I think that's when
Okay.
those came out. So most of them should reform.
Yeah.
I don't see any, I'll pick one at random here. They have been kept in, obviously been kept dry and clean, and the paper's all good.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no leakage, and they have the black bottoms, which I think black plastic bottoms, and there's nothing pushing out.
Yeah.
So I suspect they're probably going to be okay.
Yeah. By 1970, the seals improved a lot.
Yeah. And this has the improved seals on it.
Those with the exposed rubber seals, I don't know.
Mm.
They always tended to crack and leak.
Yep.
in a
Now,
cap.
these all appear to be clean and a little bit beyond that manufacturer style.
Mhm.
So if anybody needs any, let me know.
Oh. Hey, Blake, how do you reform or recharge those? If they've been sitting on a shelf for years, what do you have to do to make them usable?
You get a
You
curve
have to-
tracer.
You can either put them on a curve tracer, or you can send them to a capacitor reform school. Pat, usually what I do is they make reformers, and people. I think Sid Saul once built a reformer that actually did everything automatically, but I'm not in the business for reforming capacitors unless I need one specifically. And I have a Sencor capacitor analyzer that I can actually put voltage on it, and I just set it up for a low voltage, and then every 5 or 10 minutes I'll jack it up a little bit until I get up to the rated value, and then I go ahead and measure it and make sure that the capacity is good, and then I check it either for ESR or leakage, and if it's good, they generally hold. Not all of them will reform though.
So if you've got a capacitor tester, usually that's looking at leakage. And
Yep.
you just put it up there and crank it up a little and watch it leak. And as it sits there for a while, the leakage should go down. And
I hadn't
crank it up a little.
hadn't thought about that, but I think you're right, Bruce. I think I'll turn it on and look, but I think I can put it on. I think I can apply voltage and do it. Let's see. It's a Sencor LC102. It's same as an LC101, except it's got the LCD display instead of LED. But let me put it on capacitor leakage. Let me put 400 volts on it. Okay, my warning light's flashing, and I can go to capacitor leakage.
You might have to start
Yeah.
lower voltage.
Yeah, I will. I was just looking to see if it would hold a voltage in there. Yeah, the heck, I'll try it right now. Let's have some fun. This is an 8 to 10 at 350, a 15 to 20 at 475, a 30 to 40 at 350, and a 50 to 60 at 350. So it's a four section. Came complete with this little mount.
Oh, yeah.
So
So you can isolate.
yeah, see if the leads will come down this far. This thing is sitting on a shelf just above my bench, and the leads are pretty well fixed on it. But let's kill the voltage first of all.
No, go ahead. Live wire.
No, no. Okay, we'll do 50 volts to begin with.
What were
And
those
let's see
used in?
What's that?
What are those used in? Wait,
Radios.
any radios? A lot of radios in the 70s.
These are all replacements, and they were probably used in a myriad of things, from stereo receivers to televisions to old radios, just as replacement units.
Oh, as replacement ones. Yeah, you'd have to adapt them to fit those older radios.
Yeah. So I think we will start off with we'll do the 50 to 60 at 350 and see what happens. The 50 to 60, that would be the square. So I'll go ahead and grab it there.
And then you make sure the
And,
polarity is correct.
Yep. Red to can.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. Let me go to leakage.
No, we can't see. Well, you got a pretty fancy tester then.
Yeah, it's I'll show you what it looks like. It's up here on the shelf. It's
Yeah, most of them have the magic
yeah,
eye
right
tube
there.
in it. Most of them have the magic eye tube for looking at the leakage, and
huh.
And that's an ESR tester, right? As well as
Well,
leakage?
this is a do everything tester. I've actually got ESR. I can measure microvolts and millivolt leakage. I can ring out inductors, and I've even got a dielectric absorption.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's a nice tester. It's pretty expensive piece when it was new.
that's a Syncor, you said?
Yeah, it's a Sencor LC 102. The 101 and 102 were pretty much the same. The 102 is a little newer.
Mhm. So what's your leakage looking at?
Right now, I had it on ohms. Let's see what the leakage is here. Leakage right now is about, looks like about 120 microamps. If I pull down my little chart here that tells me what's legitimate. Let's see, these are not tantalums. These are aluminum standard aluminum lead. Okay. 47 is about as close. At 50 volts, I should be somewhere around 7 microamps. So I got a little ways to go. But let me look at it again. It was 151 to begin with, and it's now down under 100 and falling slowly. So it's getting there.
So what's it do at 100 volts?
What's that?
What's it do at
Oh, I
100
know.
volts?
Well, let's look.
I mean, you can easily put a milliamp in there and not heat it up or destroy it.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I'm now down into the microamps. Looks like, let's see, this is, I'm gonna get back to the aluminum ones here. capacity in microfarad and the voltage. These are what's acceptable at 100 volts and 47. And let's see. That's this one and 100 volts. Should be 411 microamps, and it's currently reading 327. So it's already in the good range.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how you do it, Pat. You just put a DC voltage on it. And if you've got an ESR checker, the nice thing about this is I can raise the voltage, just pushing buttons on the front, and then I can check the both the ESR and the leakage just at the touch of a button. But you could very well put 100 volts on this and let it sit for half an hour, and then check with an ESR meter or with a leakage meter, and
As long as
do
you got some,
the same thing.
as long as you got some series impedance, so that if the thing goes short, you don't start a fire. Whether it's current limited by a resistor or by a circuit,
Yeah.
Uh,
A light bulb is a good thing to have on it, if nothing else.
mhm. So when I'm bringing stuff up at the museum, in special cases, I'll just take the curve tracer in an unpowered scope and I'll hit it supply by supply and see what the current is. With the scope off, you're not doing any plate dissipation. You might find a bleeder here and there, but you can tell what that current should be. It's not that much. And at that point, you can just plug her in and go. Sometimes I've just turned an instrument on and let her run and kept a little eye on it and then go around and feel the capacitors. And when I brought up the 511, I found there was a couple of pretty hot capacitors after a little while and had to replace those. But I hadn't, brought them up slowly, tried to reform them. Later, they just wouldn't reform. Maybe I was too gutsy on them.
Optimistic.
Yeah, too gutsy on them to start with. They never got that terribly hot, but they never reformed.
Yeah. And I'm sure some of these I've got in this box over here won't reform, but I'll bet them most of them will.
Yeah.
But that's what I drug home from
Yeah,
the place.
pretty nice. Yeah. Well, Pat's got something there.
I got this, they've had 5 sales there. They've had, the first 2 were just for us. Then they had an estate sale. And then they had us come again. So they had 4 or 5 sales. And this, I just got this at the last one, which would have been last Saturday. And let's see, I'm not sure the model. I think it's a 5S something.
Oh, it looks like a 5S119. Yeah, it's a 5S119.
Oh, okay. I guess you can't really see it too good in this poor lighting.
Right
Anyhow,
there.
I got that.
Hold it back at an angle, Pat. Tilt it. Yeah, right there. We can see kind of what it looks like.
It's got 4 knobs and it looks pretty complete. It's not a battery set.
Nope.
And they were asking $60 for it, but everything was 30% off. So I got it for $42, which I thought was a pretty good deal.
Buy.
Huh.
It's a good buy. Those are nice little radios. They work fairly well. They're 1937, I think.
Oh.
So I bought what Jim's wife called the crap boxes.
The crap box. So
The
good.
crap boxes. And she says, I'm just hoping that some of you guys think that it's good crap. I bought one box. I bought it primarily because I saw 2 rolls and they were $10 a box There were 2 rolls unused of 60/40 solder. I think they looked like they were probably half pounders. So
Mhm.
I grabbed that, and in the bottom of the box, I found this.
Oh, wow. Outstanding.
And I thought that was kind of cute. I plugged it in. It keeps perfect time. It is a little bit noisy, so I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the back off and apply a little bit of. I've got some synthetic clock oil over here that with about a 4-inch or a 5-inch needle feeder on it, and I'm going to see if I can quiet it down. But I don't know. I think I'll probably take it to one of the meets and sell it.
George Kirkwood would know what to do with that.
I
No,
bet
that's
he
probably
would.
too new.
Yeah.
Anybody here?
The problem is there's not enough room for his invented gearworks in the back of it, I don't think.
Yeah. Anybody hear from George lately?
I talked to him a few weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
He seemed cranky as normal. So
Okay, good.
the one I'm concerned about is Ray Holland. I don't know if you folks know Ray and what happened with him.
No, I don't know what happened.
I had heard down through my grapevine that he'd had a fall.
Hmm.
Anyway, that led to a 4-day hospital stay for him.
Ooh.
And his son is now over taking care of he and Mary. And Mary is she's so far gone. So what a sweetheart. She doesn't let it bother her, but
Oh,
she's
wow.
just barely in our world. So her
Oh.
son called me and asked me if I would come over and get 2 of Ray's projects and finish them up because the customers were hounding him.
Oh,
So
uh-huh.
I'm going to go over and get it. But yeah, he had a bad enough fall that he had to stay in the hospital a while. He is back home, and like I said, his son is there taking care of both he and his wife.
Oh, gosh.
So
Yeah, my wife looked at this and says, "Oh, you take a fall." No, I'm
No.
still hanging vertical, but oh gosh. So is it a stroke or it just
he just had a bad fall, is what
Uh-huh.
his son told me. I asked him, and he was okay. He says, "Yeah, he's just got some convalescing and probably some therapy, physical therapy he's going to need to go through."
okay, nothing broken though?
I don't know. I'll know more tomorrow night. I'll have an update for the club on Saturday. I'm going to go
Okay.
over there tomorrow and get the 2 radios that he needs finished. And they can come over here and take up habitation with the other 20 projects I have here that aren't mine.
Yeah.
Your guy called me.
Okay.
Chris.
I with this damn
Well, with your challenges,
with my cancer
Do what I
coming up
can.
here and my all the shit I'm going to go through, I called up Don and had him take me off the list, at least
Yeah.
for now.
now I'm not taking any more work because what I'm finding is I haven't worked on anything of my own, but there's enough stuff out here to keep me going. This full-time engineering gig now is it's it's a little harder than I thought it was going to be.
Okay. Oh, geez. Yeah.
But I've taken some from you, and a couple other members are sending people over here. So I'm just barely keeping up with what other people need. I don't need anybody from the general public. But we do what we got. I've got a phone list over here now with 3 names on it. People who are kind enough to wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Then a lot of them wanted consoles, and can't get consoles down here in the basement.
Yep.
I've had
Yeah,
them take chassis and speakers out, but
what I asked them to do is bring the radio over, and I've got a Klog Brangle universal speaker system up here that I can dial up anything for speakers. So I check the speaker in the cabinet and leave it in the cabinet, and just take the radio and the antenna if necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the best I can do. They have to take the cabinet home.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they take a lot of room.
They do, and most of them don't stack well.
No, at least you got a ground level entrance there.
Yeah, and a relatively flat driveway, so I don't have to deal with that either.
Okay.
I'm gonna see what my capacitor is doing up here, and then I'll raise it to 200.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still continuing to come down. Move it up to 200. It didn't drop much. Okay, 200 volts. Let's see where our leakage is. And yeah, 4.543, 3.3 milliamps, 2.9, 2.6, 2.3 milliamps. So at 200 volts, let's see what the maximum voltage leakage is. 50, 200 is 582 microamps, and it is 442. So even at 200 volts, it's still good.
I just noticed that this radio has a bunch of asbestos on the top. Do you guys recommend removing that? Because if I remove it, might generate some dust.
Yeah, don't do that. What I do, Pat, and you can get an opinion from everybody here, but typically what I do is I will take a liquid acrylic or liquid lacquer, and I will soak it and let it set so that it hardens and it can't shed.
Yeah, exactly.
And the one I've been using mostly now is crystal clear Krylon. Because it's in a spray rattle can, it's very thin. It penetrates pretty quickly and it dries pretty quickly. I use about 3 coats. So it takes about a half an hour or so, and then it should be relatively safe.
What's it called? Krylon what?
Yeah, it's just Krylon crystal clear. Any clear rattle can paint.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
Okay.
rattle can paint tends to be very thin in order to spray it through that little nozzle. And that works really, really well for soaking those. But soak it, saturate it.
Yeah,
Runs are okay.
Yeah, soaks in really well. And all those little asbestos fibers are captured.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a transoceanic, not the bomber, the yacht one, anyway, from about 1942 that has that asbestos sheet in there as well. So I wasn't sure what to do with that. Thanks for the tip.
And that's how I do it. Some people will spray it, and after it turns hard, they'll pull it out of the radio, but I typically don't. I don't know if that's safe or not, but I figured that when I've saturated it, it's pretty well glued itself to wherever it is.
Yeah, that's what I've done. I've got some right above me here in the first duct.
I got some right here in my hand.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I can see it up there. Yeah, see that stripe? Yeah, that's asbestos right there. Whoop, whoop.
Wow.
Seal the furnace duct. Yeah.
So Blake, is that typically what it looks like? That white
Yeah.
sheet?
Yeah.
Yes, a white sheet.
Yeah, it looks kind of woven. This one looks a little woven. Got a little bit of a pattern to it. Let's see if I can get it up there close to the.
Yep. Has that one been sprayed yet? Looks
Nope.
like it.
Nope, I haven't sprayed this one. I don't think I've sprayed this one down here either. Here's another one. This one looks like it might be a little on the dangerous side.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's on the bottom where you scrape the chassis in and out and
Yeah,
loosen it all. Yeah.
anyway, similar radios. But
Oh, yeah, I'll be darned.
They will be making the short trip to Eugene and back, and they'll look different when they come back.
Mhm.
They'll be Marvinized.
Can you show us yours?
Show us what?
His asbestos in the Zenith.
Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's bad lighting. I don't know if you can see it, but it's the whole top.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, it's a big one.
Oh, that's a big
It's
piece of,
huge.
That's a typical, yeah, that's
Is it
typical.
typical?
Well, why is it on the bottom on yours and on the top on mine?
Asbestos is an insulator.
Well, is there that much heat on the bottom?
heat shield.
Yeah, there should be any
I don't know
heat on the
why.
bottom.
Well, mine's on top.
Yeah, that's typically where you find them,
That
Yep.
would make sense.
You know, kind of hot air rises and
Well, on Blake's, they were on the bottom, right?
on that one
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Both of them are on the bottom.
oh, they
So
were.
they
Yep.
expecting the black caps to blow up in there.
No,
Catch
just get
fire.
hot.
Catch on fire.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, no, just they just get hot, I guess.
typically the heat's on the top where the tubes are.
Yeah. Well, it's quite a bit of space on this one. I think the reason they're underneath is everything in this radio is underneath, and it's a very shallow 1-inch chassis.
Oh,
So-
uh-huh.
You know, heat from the tubes may radiate down. That's where they put it.
It's not like one of those Zeniths where it's damn near a 3-inch chassis, right?
Yeah. I got a bunch of them around here too. No asbestos.
Why did they go such a deep chassis on those?
I don't know. Bigger's better.
Well, you just have to dig in deeper to change all the parts.
I actually like working on them. Plenty of room in there to work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 1936, 1937, 38 chassis here, and fortunately, 3 of them are done. But I hear there's a 9S232 Walton chassis coming real soon to my house.
Who bought that?
Joe Millward.
Ah. What'd it go for?
1,500, I think.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah, Espon was second highest bidder at 1450.
Well, cool.
I'm glad somebody's got that kind of money. That's nice.
Well,
I got the 1,500, but I don't spend it on beat up 9-tube Zeniths.
Mark, is the OT's one on the bottom or the top?
What's that now?
Mark's OT that he has, that Zenith.
Oh, I don't know.
PTO
I'll bet
transmission.
is on the bottom between the battery compartment and the chassis.
Oh,
Okay, so yours is where mine is. It's underneath the chassis rather than above it.
Exactly. Because above it is where the wave magnet usually is.
Hmm.
Well, did anyone get anything else from McCracken's sale?
Just lots of junk, most of it which you'll see on the free table this Saturday. Oh, you know what I did get? And nobody saw it. Everybody was so smitten with the tubes that they missed the box of grill cloth.
Oh,
And not the big one with all of the purple, red, and blue examples in it, but the shoebox that had all of the Michael Kolowitz stuff in it, like the old Philco chevrons and the whiskey patterns and the Zenith patterns. He had like 6 or 7, might have even been, I think there were 7 full pieces And then there was a bag with some scraps in it, a lot of 4x4 and 5x5 pieces in it.
Wow, sounds like a good grab.
And then the other thing I got that I'm not proud of what I paid for him, but I'm sure glad he had them. He had a pair of, now let me take them out of the bag. The bag's going to reflect the light. But he had a pair of Crosley dashboard knobs,
Oh, wow.
and I needed this one.
Uh-huh.
Or was it this one? I'm not sure, but one of these two I need.
They look
And
pretty
I
close
was
to the same.
very happy, and it's even the right color. So if anybody's looking for a Crosley dashboard knob, I have one.
Oh, gee, knobs.
I think that was it.
Well, how much did grill cloth cost you?
It's not, oh, the grill cloth was $40 for the shoebox full of it.
And you got
And
seven,
I probably, when I got home, I figured that I probably paid 33 cents on the dollar. I think I probably got about $120 with the grill cloth. So pretty happy about that.
so how big are the pieces? Are they 1 foot by 1 foot?
No, they're console pieces. So they're 24, 25 by probably 30.
Oh my God, that's huge.
Yeah. Okalowitz used to get about $8 for a 10 by 10 and $10 for a 12 by 12. So I kind of used that as a basis for the pricing of it. But and I walked back there and looked at it, and thumbed through the pieces, took the lid off the bottom of the box, put it on the top of the box, and stuck it under my arm and kept shopping. Went from there to the knobs, and by the time I got to the knobs, most of the people were done looking at the tubes and came over and joined me in the knobs. But yeah, it was, I think more than anything else, it was the fact that all of you guys, like, you know, Pat and Esteban and Mike Miller, everybody was there. I think that was more for me what it was about. I went because of the camaraderie and to get to see these people. And most people had their masks off. We could actually see what they looked like. So fun by all, and Brian had a good time too.
I got a bag of perfect Zenith knobs here. I don't know
Wow.
where I came up with them, but there's 8 of them in there.
Well, you're sitting on a pretty penny.
Yeah? What kind of penny?
I'll bet there's $100 in that bag or more.
Oh, my goodness. Oh,
Go
Yeah.
again. I want to see what $100 looks like, Bruce.
yeah. Well, need to get them out of the bag, I guess.
Bruce used to say sold.
Yeah, I'll give you $100 for them. Yeah,
Oh my
I'd
God.
gladly give you $100 for that bag.
Yeah, they're in perfect shape. Well, we'll have to talk.
Well, I don't want to talk a lot. I just want you to bring the bag, and I'll give you a fresh $100 bill.
Okay.
I'll print you up a real nice one just before
Okay.
the meeting.
I don't know whether I'm going to be able to make the meeting. We had our 50th anniversary during COVID last year. And so we're
Oh,
going to celebrate.
congratulations.
So we're going to celebrate it Sunday, our 51st, since we couldn't do it on our 50th. So there's a lot of things to do ahead of time. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to this meeting, but
I think you've got your priorities just right.
anyway, so we got friends and family, you know, that we've been acquainted with over the years and stuff, and gonna have a good time. And
Oh, Bruce, that's wonderful. Congratulations.
I think
1 year as well.
and everyone's had their shots, so we might even be able to hug, and you know,
Go back for some more shots.
that's right. Yeah, anyway. Cool. But I got a lot of stuff to put on the free table that's been building up over the years. Which is really a
Okay.
bugger.
we'll make sure that we have at least one free table set up.
Well,
Well, that's
I
if he
don't-
makes it.
that's if I make it.
Hello,
Anyway.
Brian.
No, that's wonderful.
Hi there, Brian.
Hey. I got other company here too. Let's see if I can turn this thing around. You can see
Oh, yeah.
Tired old guy sitting here in the chair. Good evening, everybody.
John Livingston joined us a few minutes ago.
Mhm.
Love this time of year. 8:20, garage doors open,
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
comfortable.
I don't even have a handle. What's going on this Saturday?
We're having our first public club meeting
Oh.
since COVID.
Oh, okay.
I think they've got a myriad of events going on.
Yeah, I think it starts out with a little auction, doesn't it? Isn't that what Pat said? Early in the meeting, there's an auction.
That's what Pat said.
Auction is for stuff you bring yourself, or there's things being auctioned?
It's somebody's, a piece of somebody's collection.
What you
Hey,
working
John.
on over there, Brian? Same stuff?
thing.
Yeah, boy, you're really
Hmm.
persevering with those.
I'm going to show these people what you're working on, Brian. Hand that thing to me.
Yeah.
That one works. So Brian's over here doing wood burning.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's so
Get it up
cool.
close.
Yeah,
He's freehanded the drawing on it. And the darker part represents what he's done with his tool.
yeah,
But
That's pretty
What?
amazing.
what you need to be aware, what you need to understand is that he has a wood burning tool and a gel pad for his wrist. There's no rulers over there. There's no any fancy devices, just him and a thing that looks like a blunted soldering iron.
yeah, yeah. Nice,
He did not get his artistic capabilities from me.
nice, Brian.
That's pretty amazing.
Well, you like it.
Yeah, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler. God.
Yeah, you and me both.
So what's Pat got there in his hands?
Well, I'm a big plastic fan, so I got this guy. Of course, the chassis is in the other room, but I took it apart to clean it, and it didn't have any cracks in it. So I was kind of happy I got this one. I think it's an airline. I'm not sure the model number, but I didn't get any knobs with it. So unfortunately, I went through all my stash knobs, and I didn't have anything that fit.
Well, maybe you'll have to come over here and go through all the rest of your stash.
Okay. I can do that. I don't know when I'll be able to come over, but sounds like a date.
Sounds like a plan. I think I've got those.
So it's a see-through radio, huh?
Yeah, so you can. No, I took it apart because it was all dirty and everything, and I got it really reasonably. And he said, "Oh, well, there's cracks in that one." I said, "Well, still." And then I took it apart and cleaned it all up, and I can't find any cracks in it.
Yeah.
Well, what I want to know is the news that come out, if the news that comes out of that is transparent.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, or cracked. Well, folks, I have company. I'll
Good.
share with you my new favorite t-shirt. It says, "My body is a temple, ancient and crumbly, probably cursed or haunted."
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
deep
right.
thoughts. So I still like the one I told Bruce earlier about when I was a kid, I wanted to be older.
Yeah.
I didn't sign up for this crap. All right, guys, all have a great evening. Bruce, I wish you and your spouse the very best this weekend, and
Thank you.
hopefully see the rest of you at the meeting.
All right. Take care.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Right.
So I think I'll get back to work on my project back there.
Wait, what are you working on, Bruce?
Hello, it's working again. It's a 250 watt subwoofer amplifier. And the audio output goes crazy DC wise. And so then the relay doesn't connect the speaker to it. So it doesn't burn the speaker out. But it goes to minus 47 volts on the output. That's the power supply. And it's got a kicker power supply or an overdrive power supply. And sometimes it kicks the overdrive in, so it goes to minus 65 volts. Other times it rattles around to 20 volts, 10 volts, you know, all over the place. And I've hit it with a cold can. I've hit it with a hammer. I've bent the circuit board. I can't get any response out of doing that. And then part of the time it works. So it's just been a bugger trying to psych it out and then capture it at a time when it's not working and then go through the full schematic trying to figure out, okay, where is something not matching up, you know? My son, he buys typically these esoteric hi-fi equipment stuff. And from Goodwill, Craigslist, you name it, he fixes them up. A lot of them it's recapping and then sells them for good money. But once in a while he has a dog, which he has to come over here and have me fix. Or at least lead him through, but this one's been a real bugger. And a bit real bugger.
So you're just looking for cold solder joints then, right?
No, I would expect a cold solder joint to change as I warp the board around.
Right.
And push parts around, but I've not found any effect there. When it's dead, it's dead. When it's good, it's good. You can't make it bad when it's good. You can't make it good when it's bad.
So it sounds like a component's going bad then, right?
Yeah, but I would think, you know, hitting it with a cold can, you know, changing the temperature dramatically, that you would change it one way or another. But yeah, there's some component somewhere going bad, intermittent, that
It's got to be in your power supply then, right? Because you say the power supply is what's actually your DC part of it. So
power supply is okay. It's just that when the output goes far enough south, it kicks in a higher voltage power supply to furnish the power. In other words, it's kind of an overdrive circuit. So if you're, say, doing 100 watts, you know, it just uses the lower voltage. But then when you're going 250 watts, you're running out of headroom. And so it actually increases the headroom and goes to the 65 volt power supplies. But the output itself is sitting there DC at, you know, a DC voltage that's well over anything you'd want out of it for the most part. But and then it behaves for a while, and then it goes bad. And I don't know what you'd shotgun to change parts yet. The next thing I'm going to do basically is to pull that circuit board out, which is not an easy task, so that I can get to the back side.
oh yeah.
And I'm going to take a magnifier and look for solder blobs and things like that that might be shortened across, and maybe touching up some cold solder joints. But I can't imagine it's a cold solder joint because I've pushed and pulled on many a part and haven't made it to change. But you know, you can't let it get the better of you. You know, you gotta.
You'll
It's
fix
a
it.
challenge now, right?
Yeah, it's a challenge. Yes. You just can't let it get you. No matter what it takes. So anyway, all right, I think I'm gonna leave and go get back to it. So we'll catch you guys later. And we probably won't see you this weekend, but maybe the next meeting. Later.
All right. So Pat, we're gonna have a meeting next or on the 12th.
Right,
And then in July, we're gonna have a picnic
right, right.
on the 20th.
Well,
That's
no,
not-
it's not the 20th, I believe, isn't it the 24th? Yes, July 24th is the picnic.
Okay. And will we also have a meeting like on July 10th then?
No, no. So June 12th is the second Saturday of the month, so we will have our first in-person meeting at the Abernathy Grange. In July, we have the picnic. Now, normally we would have it on the 10th, but it's kind of gone back and forth and back and forth. So the reason why it's now scheduled for the 24th is because we originally were going to have a potluck, and then we're going to have Arlene Cuisine do the picnic, and then the decision was, oh, well, we don't want her to do it, and it's gone back and forth. So I have not canceled Arlene's Cuisine or changed the meeting from the 24th, because the 24th is the only Saturday available with her in mind. So
I see.
the trouble is I have zero response from anyone to do the picnic. In other words, who's going to volunteer to go to Costco to pick up the hot dogs and hamburgers and get a barbecue and, get drinks and pop and ice and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And since we don't have anyone that has volunteered, I have just kept Arlene on tap.
I see.
And June 12th is the cutoff date. If we don't get anyone to volunteer at the meeting on the 12th, then we're forced to pretty much go with Arlene, which I think is an okay deal considering it's so hard to get people to volunteer. Last year, Mike McPro and Janet did it all, and they did a fantastic job, but it doesn't sound like they want to do that same event this year because it's a lot of work.
And we were talking about doing it more of a cater. I mean, like people just delivered like pizzas or something, right? I mean,
Right.
for everybody, but nobody's volunteered for that either, right? So
Right, that's the thing. So if someone takes over on June 12th and says they'll do it, and they have, and we can assign them helpers on Saturday, then we can go ahead and cancel Arlene. But I'm not willing to do that because no one has stepped up. And besides, the membership may want to have Arlene do the carrying of the hamburgers and hot dogs.
rather than potluck, right? That's the idea, to be
Well,
more.
she for the amount she's charging us, it's only for the hamburger or hot dog with all of the trimmings. It does not include pop unless you want to pay $1 more per person, and it doesn't include sides unless you want to pay additional $3 a person. And I think for a side for a hamburger, all you need is potato chips or potato salad, and that's something.
And you're gonna bring popcorn, right? So they'll have
Yeah.
popcorn, and we'll have snow cones for dessert. There we go.
Right. So exactly. I don't see why we should pay $4 per person extra just for pop and some sides where we can bring our own chips and bring our own water or pop or whatever.
How many people are going to be there? How many people have signed up for it, Pat?
14.
Okay.
So I know we're having dismal numbers and stuff. So we have to commit, and we're committing to 100 burgers and hot dogs because the public's invited as well. So that's why we have to get on this and make sure that people are going to show up to this event.
Well, it's kind of one of those things where, I think a lot of people are still concerned about, meeting because of COVID, right? Because the state I don't know, has the state really officially said you can meet in large groups now and stuff like that? It's kind of
Yeah,
flipping back and forth, right?
right, but I got the latest thing that I got from Judy was, it was okay, and she gave me all the specs on the Abernathy Grange and what they will and won't allow, and it's pretty good. So we can have up to 50 people per floor. But we only use the basement, so I doubt if we're gonna get over 50 people this coming Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just recommendations. You don't have to follow them, but they recommend to keep the doors open for ventilation. You have hand sanitizers. People should wear masks if they feel uncomfortable or haven't received their second dose of the vaccine. Just some guidelines that we're supposed to adhere to.
Sure. I think a lot of guys, it's like you can't keep up with it, right?
No,
What the guidelines are. I mean, I just can't. I just don't have the time to try to keep up with that stuff.
right. Well, from the responses I got from people when I said if you wanted to meet in person or on Zoom on June, and it was overwhelming that they want to meet in person.
Sure. I agree with that too. But
Right, and we only had one or two people that commented and said, well, they didn't feel it was safe yet because they either didn't have their second vaccine or they're living with a, immune compromised partner, something like that.
yeah,
But, not like, oh no, don't you dare meet and it's bad and, I'm going to tell on you or anything like that. There wasn't anything like that. It was pretty much all personal.
And we had some bad responses in the beginning of COVID, right? Because they definitely didn't want us to meet, and we couldn't meet. But
Right. Oh, exactly. That's more over a year ago we did that. We just stopped, meeting, and we just basically killed it. And we've been on Zoom ever since.
uh-huh.
mhm.
So yeah. Oh, so I'm probably going to head off too. I got to take care of some things tonight. So.
Yeah, me too. Good night.
Yeah, it's getting kind of late for me too.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
it's nice seeing you guys.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see everyone on Saturday. Dave, are you showing up Saturday?
I don't know yet. Let me see it myself. I'll try. I'll try.
Okay. Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. So
Have a good
Franklin, I
night.
sent you a couple a PowerPoint and a Word document to display. Is that something we might be able to display?
Yeah, we can use screen sharing and display that. So who's going to do that talk? Is it Richard?
Well, yeah, that the Dick is going to do it for the wood repair. I was talking about the PowerPoint for the new meeting agenda schedule and the new meeting agenda.
Oh, okay. And display it on the projector, right? That's what you want to do.
Right.
Want me
right.
to do? Okay.
Something
Sounds good.
that. Okay. I'll try to see if somebody can get there about the same time you do.
Okay.
Why is it 7? Why can't it be 7:30?
Oh, it's just I don't trust him. I might be late. I would be, that's the idea, is get there earlier, because then you never know. I'm going to use Lyft, so I'm going to call him tomorrow and see.
Okay.
But-
All right. We'll see you there. So we should be there. It's about 7:30.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Good night, everyone. We'll see ya.
Good night.
All right. Bye.